thread from Brian Cates. I wait with gleeful anticipation what is to come. Remember, many people supposedly smarter, better looking, and well connected than I spent 3 years telling you what is about to happen would never happen. Now these people are getting to spin to you, Nunes is a cowardly failure and General Flynn is a corrupt sleazeball. The great thing about this is the track record between me and them is going to be crystal clear. There won't even be a hint of gray area there. You're going to know who was wrong when it's all over and who was right. When both Nunes and General Flynn can freely talk about what they know, I won't have to try to explain anything. When Rosenstein testifies right alongside Sessions at the trials of the Spygate plotters as a witness for the prosecution, I won't be laboring to spin it. My record, preserved for posterity here in my Twitter archive and in my column archives at Epic and Uncover DC, will remind people what I was saying from the start. The other guys count on you forgetting what they said or allowing you to spin it away. And right now, they're being paid to attack Nunes as a coward who zipped his lips, not to follow the law, but because he lacked the courage to do the right thing. Soon, they'll be telling you General Flynn deserves everything that happened to him because he's a slimy crook. I blocked Last Refuge 2 and some of his conservative Treehouse gang over a year ago for their non-stop fear porn, and because I suspect they deliberately launch counter-narratives to create chaos and confusion. I watched the same pattern unfold for 3 years. I'm not the only one who spotted this pattern. Every new series of positive developments in Spygate is countered by the launch of counter-narratives to try to cause infighting and division. So, I was waiting for the past week to see what counter-narratives would be launched. Now I know, which is why I made this thread about track records, archives, paper trails. When it's all over, I'm not going to be the one with a lot of explaining to do as I try to maintain an audience I built through fear porn and fraud. And I use the word fraud very deliberately. Most of the folks peddling these counter-narratives don't really believe them. They are servicing paying clients. It's not only the New York Times and Washington Post or Wall Street Journal in the news for hire business. In all my political column or Twitter writing, I have never taken money from a paying client to write something I didn't think was true and that I didn't believe myself. Some people who've turned their writing and websites into a business need money from clients to keep operating. The temptation to take $250 several times a month to publish a few quick website posts for some rhino think tank or other deep pockets client who'd like to see a new narrative out there in orbit is too great for some to resist. If you've done it once, it's far easier the second time. So they're going to have to be creative, you see. When Spygate is all over and the contrast in track records is there to be examined, they have to explain why you should keep listening to them rather than to me. I sounded the clear note during the battle. They didn't. And they're not going to come right out and say, we took some money from these deep pockets never-Trumpers of this rhino conservative think tank to launch fake news narratives to our readers. What right-wing conservative website would ever make that admission? They'll endlessly talk about how happy they are to have been wrong. We're so happy to learn that anywhere from 1/3 to over half of what we published for the last 3.5 years was wrong. And for some of the people at these sites, that's going to be true. But while others there may also be happy, they will also begin quietly setting about finding new narratives they're paying clients want to pay them to write. Meanwhile, I'll be over here enjoying the honest fruits of my labor.